know, on a football team, it's not unusual for players to band together like brothers. But for the Haltom High Buffaloes, this could not be more accurate. Coach Scott Hafley finds himself in the unique position of coaching three brothers, all on the offensive line. We spoke with them a few days ago for this week's Family Affair.
All three of the brothers take football in school very serious. They all play wrestling. They all throw the shot and disc in track. So sports is a part of their life, and you know, they go the extra mile to be the absolute best that they can be. Well, Big V is certainly the most talented of the three brothers. You know, he's 6'5", 250, runs about a 4'8", 4'9", 40s. Very quick off the ball, has great feet. You know, really long arms that he's able to extend. His game is really very polished for a junior in high school.
You know, I always follow him ever since we were to play football and stuff. And like everything we go through, you know, he yells at me for everything I'm doing wrong, so I get used to it and I pick it up. He pushes us a lot. Like every mistake we do, we have to fix it so he won't mess up too. Because once we mess up, we always mess up someone else. So we're always yelling at each other. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
William, who plays left guard, William is the strongest of the three. He's the heaviest with the most upper body strength. You know, he does a great job of firing off into the defensive linemen, linebackers. If he gets a hold of a linebacker, no way he's getting off of him. Kevin, who plays center, is probably got just as quick a feet as V. He moves really quick, just doesn't have the same size, and that's kind of what separates those boys.
Not trying to brag or anything, but my brothers always told me that I'm the smartest one out of all of them.
On homework, I always ask my brothers if they know what to do.
The left side of our offensive line looks great, plays great, and you know, they're able to communicate with each other. I would think better than most offensive linemen because they've spent so much time playing football together.
Well, like it feels the same like since Pee Wee. You know, like it's always like a good thing to play with them because you know what they're gonna do and stuff.
Playing with these guys ever since Pee Wee. And like, if I was beside somebody else, somebody new from a different school, or like you saying college, I'll probably have to get used to it for like a whole year.
Hey, that could be a recruiting dream. You get three players for the price of one if you go to Haltom High School, perhaps. And now it's time for our recruiting update. And with that, we welcome in, as usual, David McNabb, VYPE recruiting expert, author of the weekly McNabb Report. Welcome once again, David.
Thanks a lot. I like being here.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this Flower Mound football team. Coach Cody Vanderford has one of the most explosive offenses in the area, averaging 586 yards a game. Paul Millard, the starting quarterback, and yet he's not being recruited by a whole bunch of big schools.
You know, and it's what happens for different teams every year. Flower Mound is having much more success on the field. The players are doing everything they could have been asked to do, hoped to do. Paul Millard's a big, tall kid, strong arm, rolling up incredible numbers. He has a running back, Hunter Lee, who may be the best in the district, a receiver, Josh Brake, who may be the best in the district, but they're receiving almost no recruiting. I think Millard's got a Stephen F. Austin. They may get some attention through the season. By the end of the season, the way the recruiting dominoes fall, but it's very frustrating for the kids, the players, the coaches, because it's kind of like, well, what are recruiters looking for? And there is no real definition.
Yeah, and you know, Cody Vanderford, he was the offensive coordinator at Flower Mound. Mark is back when Chris Sanders played quarterback there. He says that Millard is the smartest quarterback as far as making decisions on the field. He only has 3 picks and 34 touchdown passes. So what are college coaches looking for in this whole recruiting process?
Well, it's an incredibly subjective observational skills that they're looking for. They do a lot of measurables. Is this kid this big or this size? You know, will he get hurt? Has he peaked too early? When Coach Vanderford had the great Flower Mound Marcus teams, he had Chris Sanders, who was really great, had a cannon of an arm, but he was short, so they didn't offer him. Well, now he has Millard, who's really tall and has a good arm, and he rolls up the statistic, but nobody's recruiting him. So it is hard to put your finger on it. A lot of it is on measurables. measurables, but a lot of it, it's just to feel that college coaches and to pin down a college coach as to, okay, why did you pick this guy over that guy? I don't even think they could tell you why.
Well, and then you got at DeSoto, a school that has recruiters knocking on their doors left and right. They probably got a dozen players on their roster currently, yet they've got a quarterback in Ryan Polite who recruiters aren't necessarily knocking the door down.
Right, and Ryan has the measurables. He's another 6'2" kid, maybe a little bit thin, but, you know, and he is being seen, obviously, by tons of major colleges just by what his other teammates do. And he's getting very little offers. And, you know, sometimes it's, well, he played baseball when he was younger, so he wasn't at camps. And, well, he aims the ball, or he doesn't do this. I mean, there's always this little reason. And Ryan will probably end up someplace.
So what should a parent do to try to catch the eye of these recruiters?
Well, it's really hard. There's more things not to do. The one thing nearly every college coach at a big school will tell you is don't send them a videotape. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on a video and mail it to the University of Texas. Mac Brown isn't going to see it. I mean, they don't even get open. They get tossed. There are recruiting services that are out there that will send out videos for you, let colleges know about you, but you better be prepared to either play in Portland, Maine or Portland, Oregon, because you're going to all the places in between that don't recruit here.
What about summer camps? Is that a good idea? If say you want to go play at Texas A&M and you have a son, say your son wants to play at Texas A&M, is it a good idea maybe as a freshman to go to their summer camp? Going
to their summer camps is really key because they get to see your athleticism. They get to see some intangibles, the leaders. How are you? Are you one of the leaders when it's 104 degrees at College Station during the summer and everybody's tired? Are you still there? It's a good way for them to see, well, we know this kid's really good and he's staying up with them. So summer camps is a really good way. And I always try to talk to kids, those big programs, they are always in need of walk-ons. If you notice this week, Texas and Oklahoma, you know, didn't do as well on graduation rates, and they'll go, well, that's because kids transfer. Well, they need bodies, but you have to be able to blind apply into the school to get in. But if you've played at a Flower Mound Marcus or a South Lake Carroll, and you've played at that level and you get into that school, the chances that they'll let you play as a walk-on and maybe earn a scholarship is really pretty high.
All right, David McNabb, we appreciate the insight on college recruiting. Coming up next here on VYPE TV, who are the current leaders in North Texas high school football? When we return, it's time for a Landry Award update. VYPE TV continues in 2 minutes. Time now for this week's Landry Award Watch presented by GMC. We're approaching the end of the regular season. Here are some of this season's top performers. And we were talking about Paul Millard with David McNabb a moment ago. Just look at the numbers for him. 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, nearly 3,300 yards passing this year for Flower Mound High School. Ryan Polite, another one we mentioned before from DeSoto, has 25 touchdown passes, nearly 2,400 yards passing. Frisco Liberty's fine running back Jay Ajayi has over 1,500 yards rushing and 28 touchdowns on the season. And we mentioned Hunter Lee from Flower Mound High School, a dual threat rushing and receiving with over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving and 28 total touchdowns. Do you have a favorite high school football player in North Texas? Nominate them for the Landry Award by visiting LandryAward.com. Nominations will be accepted through November 18th. In late November, 5 finalists will be selected, and the winner will be announced on Thursday, December 9th. The ceremony will be broadcast live right here on TXA 21. Well, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be back next week at 10:30 a.m. to bring you the best stories in North Texas high school sports. Before we go, we want to show you a performance from the Lorena High School Drumline. Have a great day, everybody.